Hi, welcome to Laid Back Learning and Living. I'm Heather. Today we're going to do a schoolroom tour of our schoolroom for the 2020-2021 school year. So the space is unique, not only because it's a schoolroom, but it's also my middle son's bedroom. Come on, let's go check it out. So our school space is right off of our kitchen nook, which is convenient because we have a nice big table to be able to do projects on. The schoolroom itself is about a 10 by 14 foot room, not including the closet space, which runs most of the length of the room. So we have a nice cushy armchair and blanket so we can snuggle up and be able to read and do different activities with our lap desk that's conveniently stored right here. Off to the side, I keep my youngest daughter's schoolwork so she can easily grab out the bin for each day. We have a nice desk system that just comes off of our shelving, so it saves a bunch of space. And in the L configuration, it gives us lots of room for everybody to gather around. All right, so over here in this top bin, I keep all of my teacher manuals and papers that I've pre-printed so they're ready to go for the next couple weeks. And then down below that, we have a couple filing systems for my daughter and then for my planner, along with some notebooks. And this is where we keep the school computer. So it's convenient, but out of the way. Over here is where we keep the caddy that houses all of our school supplies. It typically lives on the desk while we're doing school and then tucks up out of the way when we're all done. Our box here houses all of our mail supplies, so the kids can write letters to their pen pals and cards for different events. And then we have a couple drawers of supplies, one for myself and then one for my oldest daughter. And then as we move over here, I have used magazine holders to subdivide each of our curriculums and lessons so that we have one for geography and history, math, language arts, along with a little bit of space for any notebooks. And then directly below that, we have some science books and books that I want to have easy access to. Off to the side here is where we keep our spelling activities, along with our reference books. And down below is where we have all of our nature study notebooks and field guides, along with our binoculars and easy microscopes. Up here I house my label maker and stickers for the kids, along with all of my whiteboard pens and chalk pens so that they're easy access for the boards. And then lastly, over here we have some of the activity books for the kids in case they finish early and want something fun to do, a little dot to dots and mazes, and along with our calendar stuff. And then in this back corner is primarily my son's bedroom stuff. So he houses his blankets in here for at night, stuffies, some books, along with his fun dress up stuff in these last couple bins here. And then we have my son's desk he uses a lot of the time. And up here on our chalkboards, in order to save space because the bedroom in here doesn't have a lot of wall space, I devised a system using key rings and picture hooks to be able to flip boards, and I can easily just stack them on top of each other and keep them out of the way. So we have a whiteboard that's handy for while we're doing our handwriting each morning, and then chalkboards for different art projects when we're studying on our history or nature study units. So over here, tucked behind the door, is where we have our art and writing cart. So on the top is where we keep kind of our fun papers and little books so the kids can come up here and grab pencils and fun gel pens in order to make our writing and free writes a little bit more interesting and fun. I keep a caddy that's in this basket so it can easily come out and move with us outside or over to the kitchen or the living room, depending on when we're doing our schoolwork, along with some clipboards and a couple dry erase boards. And then down below is where we keep some of the fun art supplies so the kids can come over and use do-a-dots or paints and different stickers and colored pencils, paints, our watercolor paints, papers, and fun crafty supplies. And then in here is where we house the majority of our stuff. And up on top is where I keep our sewing and craft supplies that we don't want the little ones to get into easily. And then down below that is where we have our printer. So it's out of the way, but easily accessible. And then next to it is where we keep the extra notebook paper, binder, cardstock. Down below that, we have our construction paper, our electric pencil sharpener, where I keep my computer so it's charged and ready to go, along with some notebook paper and copy paper that the kids can easily grab. Back in this corner is where we have some empty binders, and then we have some craft supplies, along with where the kids have their headphones, and then some paper and filing storage along with our science. All right, so over on this side is where we house our craft and art supplies, and then also most of our educational games. So I've broken it up for early learning and then our later grades. So we have our math games, language arts, early language arts for preschool through 2nd grade. And then in this bin, we have our science, geography, and history games. Down on the bottom, we have some early math games and sorting and manipulatives. So over here on this side is where we house puzzles for the kids so they're easy to get to, along with Play-Doh. We have some of my stuff, different filing envelopes, laminator, my silhouette supplies, my Pro Click binder. And then in this bin, we have some language arts and math manipulatives. And then up here are some of the kids' favorite logic games and STEM toys. We move up and have our flashcards and tanagrams, along with our trays to make cleanup a little bit simpler and some extra little activities. And then as we move up here, these ones are kind of out of the way of my younger kids, so it's easy access for my oldest daughter for her different clay and Sculpey stamps, some of her little bracelet making stuff, and then her beads that I don't want the younger kids to easily get into. And then lastly up here is where I house my greeting cards, and then where we're keeping our handicraft supplies for this year. Over here on this side, I've tried to make the best use of the space, and I've installed these file sorters onto the wall to give me a little bit of vertical space for filing our future curriculums. And then we have a bunch of our bins all subdivided for different cardstocks and construction paper, dividers, sheet protectors, photo paper, on down to all of our supplies, pencils, pens, extra glue, and notepads. And then lastly are our clip games for our math and language arts for my youngest, along with some extra Play-Doh. Okay, so over here we have an oversized chair that the kids all love piling in, and we use it when we do our reading, or we'll grab out our lap desk and use that while they're working on the computer or doing some schoolwork. And then right above it is another chalkboard that I use for kind of longer term drawings that we may be keeping. And again, I use the stacking system so that I can easily move this out of the way and bring it over here to put up on the wall, which gives us one more whiteboard for the kids to be able to use above our chair here. And we keep some extra pens so that they're convenient over on this side of the room. To maximize space in this room, we installed these couple bookshelves up here that gives me a little bit more space for books that we've read or are going to be reading. In the evenings, when we're getting ready for bed, to convert this part of the room into my son's bedroom, we simply pull out his futon chair. Flip up the legs. It drops down. Pull out our other legs here. And then lastly, I installed some curtain panels that slide out of the way for when it's school time. But in the evenings, he can easily pull his curtain panels, and it gives him a nice little private space to read and have some quiet time. Thanks for watching my video today. I hope you found something helpful in it that you can implement into your schoolroom for this year. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I hope you have a great school year. Hi, welcome to Laid Back Learning and Living. I'm Heather. Today we're going to do a shoe.
It's okay.
A shoe. We're going to do a shoe.
I'm not.
Silly. Can I go?
Yeah, go.
Okay. No! That's because you're back there!
Now you can't start from the school, so you want to do it all over again.
Yeah, just do it all over again. Do it all over again.
Do it all over again.
Okay. Come on, let me show you around.
Show that to the camera. We need to see what you just did.
When you can't remember your lines.
Yeah.